Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and this is the second part of STAD modeling tutorial. So in the last video I have modeled this roof truss in STAD. If you have not watched it, then you can go to the I button, there you can find the link of that previous video. So in this video we will be discussing about the loading part and analysis part. So this is our main truss, and on this we'll be applying dead load, live load and wind load. So let us go to the calculation of dead load. So I'll go in the Excel sheet, and this is the calculation for dead load. Our roof is having multiple number of trusses with spacing between each of them as 5 meter, and the span of truss, as you know from the previous video, that is 13 meter. So the tributary area means for each of the intermediate truss, the plan area is, you can see it's 5 into 13, that is 65 meter square. Now we will be calculating the dead load coming on the truss. So first of all we will take the weight of the galvanium sheet, that we take as 140 Newton per meter square of plan area. Thus total load is coming to be 140 into 65, that is 9100 Newton on the total truss. And for the purlins we have 120 Newton per meter, and the spacing between the truss is 5 meter. So on each node the weight of the purlin will be coming on each node. So the load on each node will be 120 into 5, that is 600 Newton. And weight of truss, as we have not designed the truss yet, thus we don't know about which section is to be considered and these things. Thus this is an empirical value, like we used to calculate the weight of truss before designing as span by 3 plus 5 into 10 Newton per meter square of plan area. You can see the equation is written here. According to that I have calculated the load that is coming on the truss is 93.33 Newton per meter square of plan area, and we multiplied that value with the tributary area and it's coming to be 6066.667 Newton. And for the weight of bracing and connections, as we have not designed yet, I have told, for that I will consider that 10% of the self weight of the truss will be considered as weight of bracing and connections, that is 606.667 Newton. So the total load without the purlins, as we know the purlin will be, the load for the purlin will be same for each node. Thus without considering the purlin load, the other load like galvanium sheet, self weight of truss and weight of bracing, that will be total coming on the truss will be 15.773 kilonewton. Now the total load that will be coming is 15.773 kilonewton. Now I'll consider that each of the node is having P load on that, like this node having P load vertically downward on that, this node having P, this node having P, this node having P, and similarly up to this node is having P load on that in the downward direction. And these nodes will be having P by 2, as the tributary area for the end nodes will be half of the intermediate nodes. Thus the dead load is totally taken by 7 of P plus P by 2 for this node and P by 2 for this node, and that is coming to be 8 into P. And if we equate that with this 15.773 kilonewton and find out the value of P, and after calculating the P value, if we add the weight of purlin that is coming on the nodes, we will get 0.5716 for the intermediate nodes, and for the end nodes that will be coming as 1.585. Now you can see we get the load for intermediate node and end nodes. Now I will assign the loads in my truss instead. So to do that, I will go to stat here. Either you can go in the loading part from this option, or you can click in this loading tab. You can see one new window will appear here, and now I will assign the loads. So first I have to create one load case. So first I'll select the load case details option and click on add, and from here you can see one new window is appearing here, and from the loading type I'll select dead load, as we are applying dead load here, and name it as DEAD, dead LOAD, dead load, and click on add. And here you can see our dead load case is created, and I'll close that. And now under dead load we will add these two loads as nodal loads and acting downward. As you can see, we have calculated the loads for the intermediate node and end nodes. Now I'll create the nodes on stat and assign to the nodes. So to create the nodes, first go to stat, and as you can see that the dead load we have created, the dead load case we have created first, and then after I'll click on dead load. And to create the nodal load, just click on add, and here you can see one window is appearing. From here just click on nodal load, and as our load is acting downward, thus we will put the value only in FY direction. So I'll type minus 2.57166. That was the magnitude, I think. Yes, and I'm giving the negative value as our load is acting downward. I'll click on add, click on close. You can see one nodal load is created here, that is acting in the y direction and with magnitude minus 2.57166 kilonewton. So similarly I will create one dead load for the end nodes also, that is 2.58583 kilonewton. I'll go to stat, click on dead load and click on add. In the similar process I'll go to the nodal load. I'll type minus 1.58583. I think I've written right. Okay, and for the similar way I am also writing negative value as our load is acting downward. I'll click on add and close, and you can see our two loads for the dead load case is being created. Now I'll first assign our minus 2.57166 kilonewton load. So to assign that, I'll first select the load, and here select the use cursor to assign option, because this load will be applied in some particular nodes. So after selecting that, just click on assign, and you can see our assign words become now assigning. That means now I can assign my loads in the nodes. So our intermediate node is this node, this node, this node, this node, this node, this node, and this node. So as per our requirement I have selected that nodes, and now click on assigning again to close that. As you can see, the loads are not visible. So to do that, just go to view, label settings, and from this window you can get scale option. So you can see load scales are too much high. I'll just click on this and change the point force to 2 kilonewton per meter and press apply and click on OK, and now it's also not visible. So to do that, go to loading, and here you can see show loading diagram. So after that the loads will be visible, and if I now zoom, and now you can see the load is here. Now I can change the scale. Go to scale, put it as 0.1, apply OK, and here you can see the load is now visible. So if you face problem to see the loads, you can just go to view and check the level settings and scale here. If you find that the 0.4 scale is too high, decrease the value, click on apply, and after doing this, if it's not visible, then you can go to the loading tab here and just click on this view loading diagram option. Now I'll assign the another load for the end nodes. So I'll just click on this load, select the use cursor to assign option, click on assign, and just click on that nodes wherever I want to apply. That means this end nodes and this end node. You can see the load is now applied, and after successfully applying this load, this you can see here some green dots are there that will appear. Until and unless you will apply or assign that load in any part of the structure, that will not get green. And just as you can see, our assigning option is also now activated. So to close that, I will just click on assigning, and it's now closed. Now if you want to see the values of the load that are applied in the structure, then you can just, to see the values of load that are applied in the structure, you can just hold down the shift and type V, and you can see all the loads that are applied in my structure in different places. The magnitudes are also visible from this, and if you want to make that disable, just hold down the shift key and type on V, and you can see all the loads are gone. Similarly, we will calculate the live load. So I have calculated the live load as per IS 875 part 2, and my live load is coming on the intermediate node as 5.11875 kilonewton. So I'll just go to stat. Here you can see I have created the load case for only dead load. Now I'll create one more load case for the live load. To do that, I'll just select that load case details option and click on add. From here the loading type will be live load. Just select live, and I'll name it as live load. Click on add and close, and here you can see our live load case is now created. And now I'll create the nodal loads under the live load case option. So to do that, I'll just select live load here and click on add, and from this window I'll just go to nodal load, and for the intermediate node we have load of 5.11875 kilonewton. So as it is acting in the downward direction, I will type minus 5. What was the value? 11875. 5.11875, and click on add. Similarly, I will just add the next also. The load is coming on the end node, that is 2.56 we can take. So I'll just go to stat. I'll clear all this value and type minus 2.56 and just click on add and close. And you can see two loads are now created under live load case. This is for the intermediate nodes and the second one is for the end nodes. Now I'll assign the loads in my structure. So to do that, I'll select the first load, that is for the intermediate, and from here I will select the use cursor to assign option, click on assign, and now you can see I can assign the loads. I'll just click wherever I want to place my loads. So I'll place this load in the intermediate nodes, and I'll just click on assigning again to close that command. Now I want to assign my second load, that is for the end nodes. So I'll just click on this second load. I'll select use cursor to assign option and click on assigning, and now I'll just click on this node and this node, and you can see I've successfully assigned the load in my structure. And to come out from this command, I'll just click on assigning again. And now if you want to see the values, just click in this window. From your keyboard, hold down the shift key and press on V, and you can see the values of my loads are now visible here. So this is up to the loading part of dead load and live load. And similarly, in this way you can also assign win loads. So win load you can do in terms of defining win profile, that will be coming in one next video. Otherwise you can calculate the load coming on the each node and just assign similarly in the nodes by creating the nodal load, and the loading type will be win load. Now I'll be creating one load combination. So to do that, I'll just click on load case details and click on add. Now in this time I'll not be changing anything here, as because I want to create one load combination. From the left part of this window, I'll go to define load combination option, and I'll name our load case as 1.5 dead load plus live load. So our default factor will be 1.5. I'll just select the dead load and click on this arrow. I'll select this live load and click on this arrow, and you can see our load cases are here with factor 1.5. and now click on add, and you can see here two load cases as dead load and live load, and another is the load combination, that is 1.5 into dead load plus live load. This is how you can create as much load cases as you want. Now I'll close this window, and you can see two load cases and one load combination is being created. Now I'll analyze the structure. So to do that, just go to analysis and design from here. Otherwise you can go to analysis tab here. I'll just click here, and you can see the analysis commands and all this window is now available. So first I'll go to define command, and after clicking the define command, this window will appear, and from here the perform analysis tab, you will just add it and close it. This will analyze your structure, and after doing this you just go here post analysis command. These post analysis commands are used to get the reactions, member force, etc. As you have come to the post analysis command option, here you have once again the define commands option. So just click on define commands, and our commands will be for all these load cases and load combinations. Just click on this double arrow to get selected, and after that from here you want member forces of each member. Just click on member forces, click on add, and we want support reactions. So I'll just go to support reactions and add it. Now I'll close this window. So I want to get the member forces of all the members. So I'll just click on this print member forces option, go to assign to view, click on assign, and after that this window will appear. For this you will press yes, and you can see all the members are now highlighted, and this print member force is assigned to all my members. Now just press escape, and now I'll just assign this print support reaction command to my this to hinge support. So I'll just click on this, and this time I'll select use cursor to assign and click on assign, and after the assign word turns to assigning, you just go to the supports and click on that, and after clicking this will turn into red, and I'll also select this, and you can see these two supports or these two nodes become red. That means my command is assigned to these two nodes or these two supports. Now I'll just click on assigning again to come out of that command, and you can see I've successfully created all my analysis and other commands that I required. Now I'll just click on run analysis option from here, and now it will ask you to save the structure. Just click on save, and it will start the analysis. Just wait for that, and you can see my analysis is now completed, and you can see 0 errors is coming. That means my structure is okay. And now I'll select view output file from here and just click on done. It will open your output file. So to see all the member forces, just maximize this window, turn down this window, and from here just click on member forces all, and you can see now the member forces all part is visible to my output file. Now for each member and each load cases that we have defined will be shown here. You can see for member number 1 and for load case 1, that is the dead load, our node 1 is having this much kilonewton of load and node 11 is having this much kilonewton of load. That means for the load case 1, our first member will be having this much of axial force. For second case we are having this amount of axial force, and for the third load case, that means our 1.5 dead load plus 1.5 live load combination, our first member, that means the member number 1 will be getting this amount of axial load. So as we have defined all the members as truss, there will be no shear in y direction, no shear in z direction, no torsion, no moment in y, no moment in z. Only axial force will be there, and you can see all the members, and according to all the load cases, the axial force you can get from here. So now I will close this window, and now you can go to post processing mode to get the Excel sheets. After clicking on this post processing mode, this window will appear, and if you don't have all the selected load case in the right box, just click on this double arrow, then this load cases will be available in this right side box. Now click on apply and OK, and you can see the deflected shape. If you just scale down this, you can see this will be the deflected shape of our structure. From this post processing window, if you go to reactions, then you can see our reaction, that is the node number 1 and node number 2. We will be having fx and fy. For the first node, that is this node, and for this node we will be having one reaction for dead load in the x direction and y direction, and one reaction for the live load, and another is for the combination. This is how you can get the reactions. And for the table of axial force, you can go to this beam result option, and from here you can see the table is created. For member 1, for dead load we are having this amount of axial forces, for live load we are having this amount of axial force, for the combination we have this amount of axial force in the first member. Similarly for the second member, third member, and all the members, and according to the load cases and combinations are available here. You can just take down the values from here in your Excel, or you can just copy all these values, and this is how you can apply loads and get the axial forces support reactions from your structure. And this is for today. In this video we have discussed about the creating load cases, load combinations, and assigning the loads. After that we learned about the analysis, defining the analysis command and how to do the analysis, how to get the axial force from the output file, and in the post processing we learned about how to get the reactions and axial force in the form of one Excel sheet. We will be discussing some more about stat in our upcoming videos, and that's all for this video. If you like this video and learned something from this, then please like this video and share with your friends, and if you have not subscribed already to our channel, then please subscribe.